a real layman's way of understanding dementia. But what I want to tell you now, this bookshelf holds all the factual things, like information about people, dates, events, like, you know, weddings and finishing school and all those things. But on my left, I have another bookshelf, just as tall as me again, with the same amount of books and same amount of shelves. Each book from this bookshelf and that bookshelf, they actually match. So what that does, this one is more of the emotional memories. So what was it like when I had breakfast? I don't know, the taste of cereal. Or what was it like when I retired and might have had a retirement party? Or what was it like when I was in my 40s when my daughter got married? You know, that feeling, that emotion. All of those are on this bookshelf. Now I wanted to also imagine the bookshelf, the first bookshelf is something that I made from IKEA. You know, you can get those £15, £20 IKEA bookcases? It's one of those. But however, the one on my left is a solid wood one, a one that is made properly by a craftsman. So what that means, although dementia does come and rock this bookshelf as well, and the books might go here and there, but it's not gonna fly off that quick. So the emotional memory is probably there, and the factual memory is probably here. So, you know, it's not quite matching. So if I give you another example, I like giving this example. So my daughter's called Amira, and if you imagine that she's moved out and I'm an old lady now living on my own, and Mira comes to visit me, checks my fridge and my cupboard, and she finds that I've not eaten, food has gone to waste, so she's quite cross with me, cross with herself actually more, but she empties it out, and then I'm ignoring her, not listening to her, I'm just sitting on my chair. We have a bit of a row, so she's like, okay, I've got to go, I'm in a rush, I've got to pick my kids up from school, and I'll see you next time. But she just come in, rushed around, had a go at me, she goes off. What am I left with? A few hours later, I won't remember my daughter came to visit me, right? Because that factual memory is kind of gone. What I will be left with, you know, when someone just having a go at you, when you're being told off, that memory doesn't go. That's an emotional memory. That's at the back of the brain. That's called the amygdala memory. That stays with us. So the feeling of, you know, someone having a go at me, that might last for a few days or a bit longer than the actual fact that my daughter's ever come to visit me, because I don't even remember if I have a daughter. But because I raised my daughter well, now that she feels bad, she comes back another day. That's her usual, but this time she says, okay, let's go out. Let's do something nice together. So we go to the seaside, we get fish and chips, we go through our family photo album, we talk about old times. We have a lovely day. I love, you know, the soft cone ice cream, the soft cream ones, Mr. Whippy. We get one of those, home, settled. She kisses me goodbye, goes home. She sits in her car and thinks, I had a lovely time with Mum today, but what's the point? She's going to forget that we even did this. You know, she's just having all of this thinking in her own head. But what do you think I'm left with? Anyone?
I think you remember all the good bits, like probably you remember ice cream, you remember the seaside, maybe you remember that.
I won't remember the fact that I had ice cream. I might not remember that I went to the seaside. I might not remember that I called her by my sister's name a few times when we were going through the photo album. Because she actually does, it's so scary. She looks like my younger sister. Everyone says that. So, you know, to me, my daughter didn't come, because I'm in my 20s, I haven't had her yet. My sister came to visit me. Oh my gosh, I had a lovely time with her. Can't remember what we did, but we had a good time. That feeling of love, you know, when she touched my hands, when she embraced me, that stayed with me. So what I'm saying is, negative or positive, our emotional memories, they stay. I don't know if you've all experienced this, you know, when you, especially when you come to this country and this isn't your heritage, your native country, and you go to a space where your community is there. The smell of food, the taste of food, it takes you back to your childhood. The emotional memories, they stay with us for a lot longer.
Yeah, just can you go back one?
Yeah, I
And
can.
summarize the one here.
Mhm.
The first, yeah, the one which has all the history.
Yep.
Yeah. This one, yeah, waxa weeye khulaasa haddaan soo koobo shalafka inta qore waxa weeye wixii aan sameynay labadii bilood shantii bilood ama sanadkii ugu dambeeyey kan markaan 60 jir ahayn 40 jir 20 jir jaan soo ma marka haddii la ruxruxo ya marka hore buugaagtaas koraa soo laacay soo ma marka qofka uu ilaawaya sida ay noo sheegtay shuhaada wixii hadda dhacay. And this is a classical example. gabadheedii aa utimid waa hooyo ya gabadheeda utimid way kaxaysay waxay geysay maaragtay seaside ice cream baa lasoo cunay waa lasoo noqday marka ma xusuusanayso already way ilaawday in meel la tegay laakiin waxay xusuusanaysaa emotionkay dareentay maaragtay yaa markay 20 jir ahayd ama 20 jir markay ahayd ilma ma lahayn marka waxay soo xusuusan haddee walaashii marka waxay leedahay hey war wallahi ma aqan laakiin walaashii ii timidow ayaa maaragtay aan lasoo tamatacay ma faham marka taas way dhibaatada ugu weyn waxaa wixii shalay dhacay ma xusuusan karaan laakiin markii hore odayaal fara badanna way inkiraan مثل xaaska haddii uu dhinto ama odayga uu dhinto ya markastoo xanaa waxay aawo hebel heblaayimii xaaskayga aaway raashinii ma karinin ma oga waa ilaawayaa inay qofkii baxdana calaamadahaas marka intaan la gaarsiinin waayo ya annagoo sidaan inoo sheegto annaga waxaan kusoo barbaarnay diinta islaamka in la ixtiraamo maaragtay dadkeena maaragtay adarska adeer abti ayaan idhaahaa soo ma marka waxa waaye adiga laftigaa dhib wey haddii aad aragto adeerka ya oo ku garan waayo ya ama ku yidhahda walaalkay baa tahay ama xaaskay baa tahay ama ku yidhahda marka waa in laga hortagaa saas marka macnaha waxa waaye in la ogaado ya odayaasha in la ogaado si aysan u gaarin heerkaasi si dhaqso ah in wax loogu raadiyo kaalmo.
Excuse me, how can the person of the old age can be diagnosed? Is there a referral system or?
So I will talk to you about that, how you get that done. Okay. Done that. 5 things. No, natural part of aging.
Yeah.
Disease of the brain, memory loss, more to memory than memory loss, more to the person. Okay, come on. Sorry. We're getting there.
Here we are, yeah.
This is a little bit more about the dementia friends. I will leave you with your badges today.
macnaha waxa weeye haddii qofka la siiyo casharkan marka waxaan idinku magacaabeynaa inaad kulligiin tihiin asxaabtii dementia dementia friends marka waxaan idin siinayaa inaad fahamtaan maaragtay ya shantii qodob ay sheegtay maaragtay inaad fahmo ya marka you are now dementia friends.
Yes, we're all going to be doing different today. So managing your risk of dementia. So there are a few things that you can do, some risk factors and how you can reduce them and possible risk of dementia. So I'm just going to go on to talk about those. There are several things. So as we get older, aging is a big risk factor. Then we have genetics. Sometimes it could be something in the family, but that's a very rare type of Alzheimer's disease or dementia that happens. And your doctor will, so if one family member is diagnosed with that, your doctor will test other people around you. So it could be your son, daughters, your siblings. So you'll know if you have dementia in your family. So like for example, my dad had vascular dementia, mum's got Alzheimer's. Is it catchy? How comes this in our family? Her mum and dad, my mum's mum and dad also had dementia. But it's because they're living longer, plus they have other risk factors like their health, that the chances of them getting dementia is higher because of that, not because it's a connection to the family. Lifestyle, smoking, and other long-term conditions like heart disease, diabetes, high blood pressure, those kind of things can actually add to your risk So if you look at it as a point system, you're obese, you're smoking, you are getting older, you've got heart disease and maybe had a stroke, all of those things add and makes you get closer to being diagnosed with vascular dementia or another type of dementia. These are the things that I talked about. People who are chronically depressed, they're also at the high risk because they're isolated, they're not mixing with people, they're not going anywhere. When you have hearing loss, or people who are culturally deaf, who are born deaf, or people who lose their hearing as life goes on, their risk factor increases. Head injury, loss of sight, so people who are blind or partly blind, it's again, you're not engaging with the world in the way that you normally would, so you become more isolated, you become more within yourself rather than outwardly. Alcohol and smoking is one of the biggest factors, and like I keep saying, social isolation, definitely. The people who live alone, who don't have any family, who tend to don't mix at all, those people are at a higher risk of developing dementia. And obesity. Lack of exercise. Exercise is good for all sorts of things, including cancer and dementia. Healthy lifestyle, it's nothing new. We've been hearing this for years and years. Our food is very different, so we've just got to make sure that, you know, when we're eating our food, I'm not saying change your diet, stop eating your beautiful rice that you eat, our biryanis and all the rice dishes that we make. Quantity, what time of the day am I having? Am I moving more? Something new I started to implement because I had diabetes type 2. I walk at least 10 to 15k. Just doing basic things. What it also does, as well as reducing the weight and mental health, it also is a nice way to just, you know, get rid of some of that stress. I always say to people who probably have mobility problems, who, you know, can't walk for long, if you're taking the bus or if you're taking the car somewhere, park somewhere where you can at least walk for a good 10 minutes. Stop at a bus stop one stop earlier and then walk the rest of the way. Those little changes can make a huge difference. You can even do chair-based exercises. So balancing your food and your exercise is important. Our food is so beautiful. Our food isn't always about eating, you know, chicken and meat and fish. We should eat those, but we should look at how much of that we're eating. Red meat isn't great for us. So I think it's about making sure we're eating more wholesome food. Back in our home countries, when they were eating those heavy food, they had ways of burning it out. We don't. Even the preparation, in the way they used to cook it, would take longer, whereas now we just put it in a pressure cooker or we just get instant stuff and things are done. You know, you're not making your noodles and things with your hand or your pasta. It's all ready made for you. So it's the processes. Life has become easier, and this environment the climate isn't suited to some of us. So we just got to remember what's good here. So replacing rice perhaps with something else, or looking at a lower calorie rice version than our usual white rice that we eat. Social engagement, this is amazing. You know, some of the trustees here today, this would be your Sadaqah Zaria, because what you're giving isn't just about connecting people together. You're actually helping people to be empowered for their health. You're bringing a community with the same interests together, so that you can all feel like you belong. That sense of belonging is so important for us. The social interaction and engagement and mental stimulation, the activities that you plan throughout the year, those are really important things to take part in. If you know someone in your community who isn't coming out but should come out, encourage them. Let's make it easy for people to connect with us, because that is probably one of the biggest ways we can reduce dementia for ourselves. Especially if we're not working and, you know, we're sitting at home, it's good to come out and interact with one another. Some wonderful resources that's available at the Alzheimer's Society. You can go to our website. We have a national helpline. We also have translation service. So we can help you in different languages. You just have to let them know what language you need, and they'll sort out a translator for you.
Awesome, okay.
Have we got any questions? Yes, there was one question. How do I get diagnosed? So this is the important bit.
Yeah.
If I'm worried about my memory or health, the first and only person we should really go to is a healthcare professional, so a GP, or sometimes you have the advanced practitioner in your surgery. What they will do, so if it is a memory problem or any health problem, what they will do a blood test. So in the journey of a dementia journey, the doctor will do a test on your vitamin D, your vitamin B12, check if you've got any infections or anything else going on, and then they will do an assessment. Sometimes GP can do the assessment, and GP can also send you for a scan, so an MRI or a CT scan, or they will refer you to a memory service. So there's specialist service that actually help you get a diagnosis, and they will do the same thing. They will do, after the blood test is done by the GP, they will do an assessment, they will do the scans and things, and then they'll work out what's actually going on. Without a scan, without seeing what's in your brain, they can't tell you what it is. Just by having a conversation with someone, you could probably work out. There is dementia. There's also something called mild impairment, cognitive impairment, where you have, it's called MSI. And what happens is that you have short-term memory problems, but it's not dementia. And what I've noticed in, particularly in the Somali and Black and African community and Asian community, people are being diagnosed with that. And then eventually 10 years later, they get diagnosed with dementia. So you can have like a short-term memory problem, but it's not dementia. But again, we do support people with that as well. So there's different things. Also, when you have an infection, like a chest infection or a urine infection, you can actually be very confused and very forgetful or very disorientated. Or if you're suffering from insomnia or some sort of mental health problem, you can find that you've got the similar symptoms of dementia. Or by the other way around, if you have dementia and you get an infection, it enhances your forgetfulness and your problems.
Yeah, just to add, ayaan dhaweyso waxaan nala joogtay gabar ramla la yidhaahdo oo maaragtay ka shaqaysa guryaha xataa dadka ugu tagta soo hubisa gb kastan wuxuu leeyahay maaragtay meel la yidhahdo memory clinic ya marka iyada waxay u fargaraysay mar baan cazumayna hadduu alla yidhaahdo haddii adinka aad doonaysaan maaragtay in sidan oo kale loo kulmo markiiba bishiiba mar ama laba jeer abuukar diyaar ayaan unahay soo maha inaan maaragtay maxamed jiilaani inaan abaabulno oo mar kastaba keeno dad khubara ah mise gabadhaas oo kale kuu sheegayso xaafadeed degan tahay waxaad tegaysaa goob a b and c meelahaasaad tegaysaa in lagu yidhaahdo ya ma aha keliya dementia waxaa kaloo xataa aan keeni karnaa xalay waxaan la kulmay yar Soomaali ah oo ka shaqeeya AI marka wuxuu rabaa hadda community Soomaali inuu wacyigeliyo sida loo isticmaali karo AI xataa si loo ogaado. So I met this last night. I've been an event. I met this Shamat in Somali. You know, and he's with AI and he's developing artificial intelligence in engaging the Somali communities and help them, know their perspective. And I asked him if he might come one day to give them, their lecture. So waxaan doonaynaa maarag iyo hadda sida ay su'aalo sheegtay centerkan waa center cajiib ah because self isolation is one of the risks marka isku imaatinkan inta mathalan shalay doraad waa soconay asxaabteeni ama siyaasad baan ka hadalnay ama waxaan baan ka hadalnay laakiin maanta waxaan ka hadalnay wax walba oo completely different aadan hore u hadlin marka maskaxda way shaqaynaysaa wax cusub baa inay leedahay maogtahay maskaxda waxaa loo baahan yahay mar kastaba sidaas oo kale maskaxda waa muruq oo kale iyo haddaadan dhaqdhaqaaqin waxaad noqonaysaa falasid soo ma maskaxdan waxay rabtaa in laga shaqaysiiyo marka haddii aad jeceshihiin sidaas diyaaran u nahay inaan idin abaabulno occasional bishii mar laba jeer macluumaad zaa'id ah caafimaadkeena iyo sida loo fahmi lahaa waddankan cusubaan nimid
Have anyone got any other questions for me?
Abu.
As an African, are we more likely to get that disease because of the ethnicity or
So here's the thing. because of our color, because of our
Related
heritage,
to
we are at a
Yeah.
risk. So
Nationality.
black men are at a higher risk because of vascular conditions. So your high blood pressure is one of the reasons. Because black men have the highest prevalence of high blood pressure, so the chance of you getting dementia, and we get it a lot younger. We get it sooner. But like anything, like we talk about diabetes, black Asian are 4 times more likely to get it than, and there's actually been some data done, work done on that black men are 7 times more likely to get dementia than.
Yeah, and I think that's a very good point. Asian, you know, we have got the people with the black community have also higher risk than the Asian.
Yes, they
And the
are.
Asian have got higher risk than the white. So, but sidaas awgeed, and if you go back and fiiriso inta jira haddaan boqolkiiba 95 ya haddaan wey dadka oo maarata hadda maanta la siiyo keerka marka dadkii waa boqolkiiba 1.5 madow ah iyo boqolkiiba 1.5 kalena waxaa waaye Asian. Yeah.
Is it because they don't request or is it
Because they don't
it's been
request.
undiagnosed?
Yeah, undiagnosed. Because haddaan lagu diagnose garan maaha. Anaga shaqadaasa wadnaa si aan nidhaaho caawa dadkaas hala raadiyo. Marka waa shaqada
Very diabetical I just want to know why we get more disease, more likely to get
because